Hello and welcome back to the Alexander Rossi Career Series here on BoxBoxBoxGaming with F1 2016. My name is Justin, and today we'll be taking part in the 13th round of this 2016 season for the Belgium Grand Prix, or Belgian Grand Prix, at Spa-Francorchamps. Spa-Francorchamps. Frank or Champs. So, yeah, if you missed the practice and qualifying video, if you want to check out qualifying, which was actually pretty exciting, to be totally honest, there is a link down in the description below. Feel free to go check out that qualifying video before we watch that. In fact, just so people know, if you've never watched the practice or qualifying video, there is also a timestamp in the practice and qualifying video so that you can skip straight to qualifying. So you can watch the whole thing, you can watch just qualifying, you can watch just the race. I try to set this up for you guys to make it as like customizable as you can watch as much or as little as you want, and that's what I try to go for. So we're going to be going over the grid here. So yeah, there's your chance if you wanted to go watch the qualifying. There's your opportunity. But we got pole. We got pole position in the dry. Like, whoa, man. Whoa, bro. Yeah, so pretty nuts. It was a pretty ridiculous qualifying session. I mean, I couldn't even make it out of Q1 on softs, and then I stick it on pole by 0.4. The AI, I swear though, went faster in Q2 than they did in Q3. However, even with their Q2 time though, I still would have gotten pole by 1/10. I believe Hamilton was quickest in Q2. With a 0.2, and I went quickest in Q3 with a 0.1. So I would have had pole anyway, but I don't. It's a bit of a strange one. So there's confirmation. We're on pole. Romain Grosjean in third, between Hamilton and Rosberg as well. So fantastic qualifying for Haas. Verstappen in fifth, then Bottas, Massa, Ricciardo. The two Ferraris languishing way down on the fifth row of the grid. Then Kvyat and Button. Sainz, Perez, and Hulkenberg way down the order. Fernando Alonso qualified 11th, 5-place grid penalty, brings him down to 16th. Then we've got the Renaults, the Saubers, and the Manners 2x2 as they go. Pascal Wehrlein starting from last after he picked up a 5-place grid penalty as well during one of the sessions. So a couple of penalties before the race for Wehrlein and Alonso. Here is our tire strategy. So we are going to be starting the race on the set of super softs that we used in Q2. We're going to be stopping on lap number 3 at the end of lap 3, and we're going to do an 8-lap stint on a set of soft tires, which I am more than happy with that. Taking a look at the fuel load, they want me to bring on 12.1 laps of fuel for an 11-lap race, and I think that's about right. That is a very agreeable amount, so I will take that. And so we are away for the formation lap. And yeah, I mean, I went 0.8 quicker in Q3 than I did in Q2. 0.8 quicker. So yeah, I found a lot of time all of a sudden. So I'm definitely, I feel like the Thrustmaster TMX wheel and pedals is making me faster, but I don't have the consistency just yet. Because I don't think I would have gotten pole if I was on the Driving Force GT. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I would have, to be totally honest. That lap was incredible. I mean, that was probably one of the best laps I've ever had, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, I'm pretty floored by that, to be totally honest. So, Hamilton again is the car behind. He is also starting on the super softs as well as Grosjean. I am running a very low downforce setup. We're running 4-3. On the wings, 4 on the front wings, 3 on the rear wing, and yeah, it makes me much quicker in sectors 1 and 3, and much slower in sector 2. So that's the real issue. Now the good news is that I am faster in a straight line, so I will be quicker down the Kemmel straight and all that kind of stuff. I should be able to defend. If he gets by me, I should be able to attack back at him. But if Hamilton's ahead of me, coming off of the Kemmel straight into Lacombe, then he's going to pull away without question. If he passes me on the run down towards the bus stop chicane on the back straight, then I have an opportunity to pick up DRS and to pass him back into Lacombe. But if he passes me at Lacombe, I'm in trouble because he is going to be much quicker. Through the corners, the Mercedes is significantly quicker. and I'm not that much faster. So I'm really backing the field up right now, by the way. I could see there was a huge gap, and then the game ghosted me. The game just ghosted me. So I was trying to back up the field like the drivers do, you know, really back them up, really slow it down before the AI took control of my car. And it was working for a little bit there, but then unfortunately it just ghosted me, and Lewis Hamilton just took off down the road. Now that doesn't actually change our grid positions or anything, so you don't need to worry about that. I wasn't worried either. But yeah. Unfortunate. I was really trying to back up that field and get rid of that gap, because again, so that's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Behind 8th, it's the two Ferraris. The two Ferraris just are leaving a huge gap. I think that's Kimi Räikkönen. No, it's Vettel in 9th. So Vettel, you naughty boy. So here we are on the grid, starting from pole position at Spa. Oh God, I hope it's not like 2012. Please, please don't be like 2012. Excuse me. The back rear of the grid just forming up in their grid positions now as we prepare to go racing. And here we go. Oh my gosh, I am really nervous about this one for sure. The clutch is in, the engines are revving. We've got 4 lights, we've got 5 lights. And we're away for the 2016 Belgian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton with a pretty good start on our left-hand side. We can see that proximity arrow getting pretty close as we're already up into rich mix and locking our inside wheel for La Source, but very aggressive. Really wanted to make sure that I stay ahead of the 3-time world champion that sat behind me. Romain Grosjean holds on to his 3rd place position, and hopefully, if he's running a similar sort of setup as I am, then hopefully he can even begin to pressure Lewis Hamilton. And we can see in the background, actually, he is very close to Lewis Hamilton. Coming onto the Kemmel Straight now, he's going to switch over to the right-hand side. They're going to be side by side into Lacombe, but no, he actually moves back in underneath Hamilton, so that's unfortunate. It looked like Romain Grosjean might actually make a move on Lewis Hamilton here on the first lap, but unfortunately he was not able to complete that move, and that big gap that I managed to pull out on Lewis Hamilton down the Kemmel Straight has been completely destroyed. He's less than a car length behind me now, down through the downhill right-hander at turn 10. Turn 11, corner with no name, 4th gear corner onto the throttle. Short run down towards Pouan. Nothing Lewis can do on this occasion. Can't go into there. It's just too fast of a corner as well. You'd have to have a really, really bad time through corner with no name if somebody's going to go side by side with you into Pouan. We can see there is a Red Bull currently in 4th position hounding Grosjean. I'm not sure who that is, but then there's a pretty decently sized gap back into whichever car is currently in 5th position. But the two Haas's currently holding on to their positions, but it was Rosberg actually that was in 4th, and now it's a Red Bull. So that is very interesting stuff. I'm not sure what's going on in the background exactly, but it definitely seems that Rosberg has lost out at the start of this race. Coming to the end of lap 1, braking very nearly at the 100-meter board for the bus stop chicane down into 2nd gear. And gently on the throttle, unfortunately not gently enough though, as we do pick up some wheel spin there. We set the fastest lap, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be beaten by somebody else. No, actually, I haven't seen anything pop up. But I guess that is the benefit of starting from pole position, is you always get fastest lap on the first lap. So here we go down the hill, down towards Eau Rouge, and we can see Lewis Hamilton in the rearview mirror. That car just getting smaller and smaller. He will, of course, be picking up more and more of a slipstream, though, as we continue to get faster and faster down this Kemmel Straight. Keeping an eye on the mini-map at the bottom left-hand corner. It does appear that Grosjean has now broken away from whatever Red Bull was in 4th position. Either that or the Red Bull is so close to him that they appear to be the same dot. Into Lacombe now, and you can see that advantage with Lewis already starting to get chewed into by the silver arrows behind me. And look at that, through this downhill right-hander at turn 10, just even more catching up. But although actually I did have a fairly good exit out of that corner, but then curve with no name of a slightly higher speed corner. And that Mercedes just able to close in a little bit. He is picking up a tasty slipstream at this point, coming out of Pouan. Running a little bit wide there as well. And into turns 13 and 14. 4th gear corner, especially when your tires are in this good condition and you're on the super softs. And oh my God, Lewis is all over the back of me. This is much, much worse than it was on the first lap. I did get a pretty good exit there, though. So let's see, as we switch to an off-board camera, is Lewis... Yeah, I mean, look at the sort of slipstream that Lewis is getting. He's already side by side. I'm going to defend the inside line on the run towards Blanchimont. We are side by side very high-speed stuff here, probably close to 200 miles an hour. Lewis sticks it around the outside. I've got him on the inside, but he does outbrake me into the bus stop chicane, and I am going to have to feed back in behind him. And actually, that Red Bull has managed to get by Romain Grosjean. He's now down into 4th place. That is Max Verstappen, my new and old rival, Max Verstappen. So we're down into 2nd position as DRS is now activated at the start of lap number 3. Verstappen up into 3rd, Grosjean down into 4th, and I believe that's a Williams in 5th. So Rosberg is clearly struggling on the run down towards Eau Rouge now, picking up that slipstream from Lewis Hamilton. Some sparks flying off the Mercedes as we go up the hill over Radeon, and look at the slipstream we're getting now. DRS is going to be open. We got the wing open. We're going to move to the right-hand side. I don't even think we're going to have to go side by side with him. Look at that move done before the braking zone. Very, very hard onto the brakes, down into 3rd gear for the look home section, and holy cow, I can't believe it, but we have actually taken the lead of this race back from Lewis Hamilton. I didn't expect to be saying that this season. Using standard mix right now, we only have about an extra lap of fuel or thereabouts, and we do need to use that fuel on the Kemmel straight and also on the back straight where Blanchimont is. So we do need to be very mindful of our fuel. It does look like Lewis has broken away from the Red Bull a little bit. No, he hasn't. I think Grosjean's lost another position. Yeah, I do believe Grosjean has lost another position, if I'm not mistaken, because I can see Lewis right behind me, and then Verstappen right behind him. Then there's a bit of a gap on the mini-map on the bottom left-hand corner, and then there's a gray dot, and then there's Grosjean. So I think he might actually be down into 5th position at this point. So here we go. We are actually pitting this lap. This is our in-lap for the set of soft tires. Lewis, again, getting a hell of a slipstream. This time he's going to have the inside line. I'm going to go to the outside. He squeezes me a little bit, going onto the grass ever so slightly, running wide off the circuit. Lewis gets the job done. Is he going to defend the inside line? No, he's not, but I'm not able to brake late enough to make a move up the inside. Is he going to come into the pits? Yes, he is. I believe some light contact between the two of us there at pit entry, so I need to have a good pit entrance here. Thankfully, with Lewis just ahead of me, that gives me a perfect indicator of when I need to brake. There's not much in between us as we come into the pits now. Lewis into his pit box. I can't see what tires he put on, but of course we are going to be going onto a set of the softs, and it looks like Lewis as well onto a set of the softs, and we can see a Williams, a Red Bull, and a Ferrari all coming into the pits as well. There we go with the soft tires. There goes Lewis. I do believe we have lost a pretty significant amount of time to him in the pit stop. It doesn't look like necessarily a bad pit stop for the Haas guys, but I think it was a very good pit stop for Lewis. So at the start of lap number 4 now, up Eau Rouge and over Radeon for the 4th time in this race, now on a brand new set of yellow marked soft compound tires for this race. And unfortunately, I think we are just too far back to mount any sort of attack on Lewis. And remember what I said, if Lewis is ahead heading into Sector 2 here in Lake Home, then he is only going to pull away, and I think that is just, that's him gone. I don't see any possible way for me to catch him at this point, despite the fact that we were 4/10 quicker in qualifying. I think that was more down to a mistake from the AI rather than me actually being quicker. So not sure if that pole position was indeed fully deserved, but I am certainly going to be pushing very hard here in order to try and push to catch up to Lewis if I can, but also I need to be worried about any sort of potential overcut possibilities. I didn't see if Max Verstappen followed us into the pits or not, so if he didn't, then, you know, if he has a really, really fast outlap, then we could come out, or he could come out actually ahead of us after he pits. So I do need to be wary about that. I do need to be pushing relatively hard here to make sure that I don't lose any sort of positions during the pit stop phase of this race. So into Curve Paul Frere. Probably not full throttle even on this brand new set. The soft tires just offering slightly less grip, and of course with the 4.3 wings, I just don't think it's enough for me to just go full throttle through that corner. Blanchimont, probably a small lift through there as well, and then back on the throttle and into the braking zone for the bus stop chicane. So some more cars should be in the pits. I'm not sure exactly which position we're in at the moment. We will be switching back to a cockpit view pretty soon. We can see a Manor ahead of us diving into the pits. There is Williams behind us. I think he pitted on the same lap as us. So here we go into La Source. We can see Romain Grosjean coming out of the pits. There's also a Williams coming out of the pits as well, and also a Red Bull. But it does look like the extra speed that we carry out of that La Source hairpin is going to allow us to stay ahead of those cars ever so slightly, only marginally. However, this Williams is very close. close. He's going to be getting a hell of a slipstream, and he's going to have the benefit of the DRS on the run down towards Lacombe down this Kemmel Straight. Pretty significant gap back to the Red Bull, and then Grosjean sat right behind that Red Bull, so hopefully he can bring the fight to that Red Bull and get back up into a sort of top 5 position here. Because I am in theory running in essentially second position. You can see I'm P7, but Nasser is up ahead, still yet to pit on that set of super soft tires that he started the race on. And that is, in fact, Valtteri Bottas in the Williams that's behind us that I need to worry about as we're rapidly approaching the halfway point of this race. Of course, this is a very quick race, very high-speed average lap time, very high-speed average speed. Lap average speed. My God, I cannot speak today. So here we go into 13, staying in 4th gear on the soft compound tires. 4th gear certainly for the left-hander. I was using 3rd gear at times for the right-hander for the entry of that section, but on this occasion I had the tires to hold on to that. Purple sector 2, interestingly enough, a 2-second gap to Nasser up ahead. If he isn't pitting at the end of this lap, which I suspect he is, if he isn't pitting at the end of this lap, though, we may actually be able to pick up DRS off of him, which should hopefully help me to defend from Valtteri Bottas behind, who is now very, very close, actually. He did pick up a hell of a slipstream coming out of Curve Paul Frere and through Blanchimont and all of that section. He is going to be picking up DRS here on the start-finish straight, so that's actually going to only allow him to keep even closer to me. He is also on the soft compound tires, and we do move back up into our second-place position. Again, I suspected we were in a net second, but there is confirmation. But Lewis Hamilton already way up the road. We can get a gap. He's already over Radion, so we'll have to have a look here and see what the gap is at the end of this sector, but it does appear that Bottas lost a significant amount of time out of Le Source, so he's not going to be a worry on this particular lap. Yeah, 4.3 seconds now to Lewis up ahead. This is now the 3rd lap that he's had ahead of us, so yeah, I mean, he's a solid 1.5 quicker than us per lap. So despite that apparent advantage that I had in qualifying, that appears to have been completely wiped away here in the race as Lewis Hamilton is beginning to streak away. An easy win for him, I suspect, unless something horrible goes wrong for him. Bottas, though, thankfully isn't as much of a worry as Hamilton was. Certainly Hamilton was harassing me a lot more than Bottas is currently, and it does look like actually he's coming under attack a little bit from Verstappen, and Grosjean's still in the mix as well. So Grosjean, I believe, is in 5th position at the moment, stuck behind Max Verstappen, and Verstappen currently behind Bottas. But man, Bottas actually stopped a lap later than me, so Bottas doing a fantastic job to nearly get the overcut on me. Great stuff from him. He's just 0.6 behind as we come out of Curve Paul Frere at the end of lap number 6 here. He's definitely getting a lot of slipstream there. Look how the Williams of Bottas is just closing up on us in that rearview mirror. I'm thinking about staying defensive there, but I do move back over onto the racing line for the braking zone for the bus stop chicane. Again, 2nd gear as always through there, and then nice and easy on the throttle. Very, very well done through there. I've definitely done worse. 0.9 quicker than the previous lap, and 5.1 seconds now to Lewis Hamilton. Way too much curb there through Le Source. Really don't want to be taking that much curb, and that has definitely hurt me. Now, Bottas won't be picking up much of a slipstream early on as we're coming out of Le Source, but as we go up Eau Rouge and over Radion, then certainly he is going to be picking up more and more of a slipstream. He's definitely within DRS range as well, so his wings open now, and he's in the slipstream, and he's in a Williams as well, which is, of course, very, very quick in a straight line, too. So he does close up on us pretty significantly in a straight line, but he is less of a threat to us in the corners, so that's nice at least. Lap 7 now out of this 11-lap race. Just 4 laps remaining after this one is completed, so just 4.5 laps remaining in this race. Standard mix, I've still got about a spare lap of fuel. You can see at the bottom right-hand corner it says plus 0.94. So I am actually using fuel less than I initially thought. So I do have a little bit more spare fuel to play with than I initially thought that I did. I thought that I really only had enough to use rich mix heading towards Blanchimont and on the Kemmel Straight. But it does look like I actually have some spare rich mix, so I can really turn up the wick at the end of this race and hopefully protect against Bottas, because I really would like to get second if I can, and I really feel like I can defend from Bottas here. So Jeff giving us some crucial information, letting us know that Hamilton is still in first place. Who knew? I had no idea, man. That's great info, Jeff. Thank you so much for that. And, ooh, the Red Bull actually looking like it was having a potential look on the Williams, but because the Williams is picking up the slipstream off of us, I really don't think that Red Bull has it. Yeah, no, he's so far behind at this point. That Williams is pulling out significantly. A bit of a wheel lock there. I believe I heard some squealing tires coming off of my Haas. Oh, a bit of wheel spin as well at the exit of the bus stop chicane. That's certainly not going to help us. Moving over to the left-hand side, trying to get Bottas out of our slipstream, braking around the 100-meter board down to second gear for turn number 1, avoiding the inside curb that time, but unfortunately not quite carrying the sort of speed that I should have been carrying. Probably could have carried a couple more miles per hour through there, but again, pulling out a little bit of a gap down towards Eau Rouge, but then now after going through Eau Rouge, this is when Bottas is going to start coming back at us with that slipstream and that DRS, but it does look like he is going to be way too far back on this occasion to do anything about it, so we don't have to worry about Bottas on this occasion. Into the braking zone for Lacombe once again. 6 seconds is the gap to Lewis Hamilton up ahead, and there we are. This is the battle for second position. Myself, oh gosh, I've run very wide there. Bottas with a sneaky move. He's going to move to the inside line for turn 10. Not a super common overtaking location. I'm going to stick it around the outside, though. That's going to give me the inside line for the curve with no name, and I believe there was actually some contact between the two of us. I believe there's side pod damage to the right-hand side of my Haas. Yes, there is. So some contact between myself and Bottas is going to give me some minor damage to the side pod, but thankfully I don't think that's going to be affecting my straight line speed or my cornering performance or anything like that. But yeah, this is a very, very tight battle for second position. And then there is a pretty decent sized gap behind Romain Grosjean. So I'm not really driving the train quite as much as I was in Germany. Fantastic low down shot there at the exit of Stavolo. But yeah, Bottas is definitely closer on this occasion than he has been previously. I think we're going to be side by side. He's moving to the left. He's moving to the right. Which way is he going to go? He thinks better of it. Not going to go side by side into Blanchimont. He is going to be very close, though, heading into the bus stop chicane. Am I going to go defensive into the corner? No, I don't have to. Just wasn't able to pick up enough speed to go side by side with me into the bus stop chicane. Lots and lots of curb at the inside of both of those corners, the left-hander and the right-hander. And then a bit of wheel spin at the exit of the bus stop chicane, unfortunately. Valtteri tucking into the slipstream on the run down towards turn 1. And then, of course, this is the most important corner of the entire circuit. I really need to nail that. Really need to get a good exit. I have just about done that, but unfortunately, I think Bottas's exit was a little bit better as we go on board down the hill and then up the hill, up Eau Rouge. Fantastic stuff, making sure not to cut any sort of corners or anything like that, minimizing the amount of wheel turning that I'm doing. You want to straight line it as much as you possibly can while still staying within the track limits, of course, and using lots and lots of rich mix as we come to the end of the Kemmel Straight on lap number 9. Just two laps remaining after this one. Still holding strong against Valtteri Bottas. We've just had the one moment of side-by-side action last lap heading into this corner, but thankfully we were able to fend him off with a little bit of defensive driving and some good side-by-side scrapping, even if there was a little bit of contact between the two of us. Fourth gear through No Name, and full throttle up into 7th gear, and then breaking down into 5th for Puhan. And making sure not to run out too wide. There are marbles towards the outside of that corner, and those can really suck you out to the exit of that corner and really kill all of your momentum. And it's not a very long run out of Puhan down towards to turn 13, but certainly you want to carry as much speed as you possibly can. 4th gear through the right-hander of Stavolo and into Curve Paul Frere, and it does look like we have a bit more of a gap on Bottas than we did last lap. Here we go into Blanchimont. Yep, he was not able to go side by side, and then we're going to stay to the right-hand side here, and then move back over to the left-hand side for the braking zone. Again, he was not alongside of us. That was a little bit on the dirty side. You know, if a driver did that in real life, Max Verstappen, then I probably wouldn't like that very much. But hey, it's F1 2016, so I can do some aggressive defending. So here we go to start the penultimate lap of this Belgian Grand Prix from second position. Again, Hamilton way off in the distance. He is going to comfortably win this race, no problems for him. Bottas does seem pretty close on this occasion. Up and over Eau Rouge we go, and Bottas taking a slightly different line than us, and he's in the slipstream. He's got the DRS open, but it looks like we've got the straight line speed for it, just about to fend him off. Holy cow, very, very close, though. Bottas is getting closer and closer every lap, it feels. Need to have a good run through here so that he's not able to go side-by-side with us again into turn 10. Good job through there and down into third gear for the downhill right-hander. Really hugging that inside line and then getting on the throttle very nicely at the exit of the corner. I seem to take that corner much better than the AI. And then no name, I just lose out completely. So here we go. Again, this is lap 10 of 11 into Puhan we go. Bottas definitely running closer, kicking up some dust there as I picked up some grass at the inside of Puhan. You could definitely see I was holding a much tighter line, so I did not quite carry as much speed as I should have done, so that could put me on the back foot against Valtteri Bottas as we come out of Curve Paul Frere and head down towards Blanchimont on this penultimate lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. So here we go through Stavolo. Oh, a bit of wheel spin. That's definitely not going to help me either. Bottas is very, very close. So is Verstappen as well, and so is Grosjean. All four of us very, very close. Here we go side by side with Bottas. Grosjean going side by side with Verstappen. We've got two side-by-side battles simultaneously into Blanchimont. Grosjean's got the move done. Still side by side with Bottas, but now Verstappen is fighting back. Grosjean with the inside line heading into the bus stop chicane. Is he going to be able to edge out Max Verstappen? Oh, I can't see from this camera angle. No, he hasn't. He's going to have the inside line, though. It looks like he's just about got the move done. We have managed to hold off Valtteri Bottas as we start the final lap of this race. Here comes Verstappen once again, though, side by side with Bottas, or Grosjean, excuse me, at the exit of La Source. And I've had a terrible exit. Here comes Bottas. He's going to take the second position. Grosjean in the background, still side by side with Verstappen. Bottas now into second position. However, we are going to get the DRS, and look at that. We're already past him before getting in the DRS, and in the background there's been contact between Max Verstappen and my teammate Romain Grosjean, and if you rewind the video, you can see just barely in the background Romain Grosjean spinning off the circuit at the top of Eau Rouge. I'm sorry, but I can't get a replay of that, but Romain Grosjean is dropping down the order like a stone after being in 5th position and then taking 4th position at the end of lap number 10 off of Max Verstappen. He's made contact with the young Dutchman, and that has unfortunately sent him out of this race, more or less. I believe he is still running. Yes, we can see he's in Lacombe right now, but that has dropped him out of any sort of significant points-paying position on the last lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. Very unfortunate stuff. Now, the good news is, I'm not sure what happened with Bottas, but he had a terrible run through Eau Rouge, and we just picked up tons of slipstream off of him, and then we had the DRS as well, and then through the twisty bits of Sector 2, we were able to just manage that gap. We are still pretty close, though, coming out of this corner. I don't think he's quite as close as he has been on previous laps, so I do need to still be worried about possibly going side-by-side with Valtteri Bottas right at the end of this race, but it looks like as we get into Blanchimont, he's not able to go side-by-side. Exit the corner, running a little bit wide there. I'm going to stay defensive to the right-hand side of the circuit, and it looks like Bottas is going to have to settle for 3rd position into the bus stop chicane for the final time in this Belgian Grand Prix to take home 2nd position in the Haas. Starting from pole, we did lose a position, but hey, we did finish ahead of Valtteri Bottas. We did finish ahead of Max Verstappen. We finished ahead of both Ferraris. We finished ahead of Nico Rosberg. I'm not sure what happened to him, but holy cow, I am exhausted from that commentary right at the end there. That got absolutely insane for the last couple of laps. As I mentioned, though, Lewis Hamilton going to pick up the win for the Silver Arrows. A very well-deserved, very easy win for him. I mean, he took the lead on at the end of lap 3 as we headed into the pits and then just dominated from there. Really had no sort of opportunity. Max Verstappen is going to take that 4th place position. I don't know what happened between himself and Grosjean. I don't know whose fault it was, but there we are on the podium. Once again, fantastic. Very, very happy with that result. Couldn't be happier, especially because this is now the first podium with the Thrustmaster TMX wheel. So hopefully this is a sign of more good things to come. It's another podium finish, though, for the Haas F1 team and Alexander Rossi. And hopefully I'll be joined by my teammate Romain Grosjean one of these days. That would be truly fantastic if we could get a double podium finish for the Haas boys. Great stuff. Really, really happy with that result. So there's confirmation. Lewis Hamilton in the end, 15 seconds ahead. And that's with 8 laps. So yeah, I mean, he was nearly 2 seconds a lap faster than me. I mean, look at his best lap. His best lap was a second faster than mine. Bottas, though, picking up a podium. Congrats to him. Then Verstappen, Massa, Ricardo, Rosberg, Kvyat, Perez, and Hulkenberg. Double points finish for the Force India boys. And then Jensen Button just outside the points, as well as Magnussen, Palmer, then Sainz and Alonso, Nasser, Wehrlein, Vettel, and Raikkonen doing the two-stop strategy. After starting from the 5th row of the grid, that has not gone well for them. And then Romain Grosjean way down in 20th position after that incident on the final lap. Very, very unfortunate. We could have had a huge haul of points. Huge haul of points. I'm talking 18... We could have had 28 points this race. 28 points we could have had. Like, that is gutting. That is truly gutting. Very, very unfortunate there. Kvyat does move ahead of Perez in the championship. Magnussen moves ahead of Palmer as well. No movement in the Constructors' Championship. We're now 101 points behind Red Bull and 25 points ahead of Williams. Mercedes absolutely destroying everybody. 204 points ahead of Ferrari. And then just a 32-point gap, actually. Yeah, because Ferrari didn't score at all in this race. Wow. Yeah, so actually it's getting very tasty for second in the Constructors. And if we can start catching up to Mercedes and Ferrari, then we could potentially be a threat here. Now, so we do actually have enough resource points to get the fuel upgrade that we wanted to get. Let's have a look here at our rivalry update very quickly here. Again, Max was faster in Sector 2, but everything else I did better. So we are going to take the early lead in that rivalry. Of course, we achieved all of our goals. We're still 14th or higher in the championship, and we beat Max Verstappen and Romain Grosjean. We are not going to get the flashback bonus because, of course, all the flashbacks that I used in FP1. And then I think I used some in FP2 and FP3 as well. So yeah, no flashback bonus there. But that is going to do it for a very successful Belgian Grand Prix weekend for the Haas F1 team. It could have been so much better. Could have been so much better if not for that contact between Grosjean and Verstappen, but, you know, that sort of thing is bound to happen at some point. So, let's see, I've got 467 points. Now, interesting to point out, the race after Monza is Singapore. And fuel efficiency really is not going to be very beneficial there. I think chassis weight would be the most beneficial thing. So yeah, in the end, I did actually decide not to get the fuel efficiency upgrade. I'm going to save my resource points, and I'm going to get the chassis weight reduction for Singapore, because that would be very, very beneficial for that race. So we've got the engine power coming for Monza, chassis weight reduction coming for Singapore. Should be very good. Hopefully that will make us even more competitive. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.